This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
Freaking.com.
I'm standing here with Irena of Concord, New Hampshire, originally from Czechoslovakia, a free stater who moved from, where did you move from directly?
From San Francisco.
Okay, great. And you not only did you move to New Hampshire as a free stater in 2004, you also rose through the ranks to become the president of the Free State Project.
That's right.
And you are currently president of the Free State Project. What is your area of expertise, Irena?
My area of expertise, I mean like where I work?
Yeah, and professionally.
Oh, well, I'm a software project manager. I implemented software in big corporations, usually involved change in the way people were doing their processes and doing business. So pretty big implementation, usually at a bank or at a telco.
Okay. And what was the main trigger that made you want to move out here?
Well, we had, my husband and I, we had our son in California. And I think pretty much once I became pregnant, we realized that living there and, doing our thing with him just made us realize we don't want to raise him there because, frankly, the social programs they have in California, I really felt they were starting to get much more stricter, not stricter, but actually many more social programs were being launched at the expense of taxpayers. We were paying so much taxes in California, it was unbelievable. And frankly, I didn't want my son to grow up in that kind of environment. So we moved to New Hampshire.
Well, now, I lost my place. How easy was it for you to find a place when you got here?
What we did is we found a rental in Nashua because that's where my husband was close to work, and we rented for 6 months. And the idea was that would give us enough time to check out the state, check out the different communities, and then we would move. And that's what happened. We found our house in Concord, and in 6 months we moved to our house.
Now, Irena, what's improved in your life since you moved out here?
Well, I would say complete quality of life has improved. Because we moved here and we don't have to pay so many taxes as in San Francisco, we can afford me staying home and take care of our 3-year-old son. So that is huge because we pay quite a bit of attention to what he does, and we do different kind of trips. So we have just started to play hockey with him. We go over the summer, I call it the farm circuit, which starts with maple syrup, then it goes blueberry picking, raspberry picking, strawberry picking, pumpkin picking, all through the year, and kids love it, and, get out in the fresh air, and I can, and I bake, and I do all those great things. So things are really good here in New Hampshire.
What's the hardest part of being here?
I would say being away from family. Even though when we lived in San Francisco, I was already away from my family because most of my family lived in Czechoslovakia. My husband's family is in Wisconsin. So when we lived in San Francisco, to be honest, we were still away. So we're away still, but in just a different part. But I think that's always hard. Other than that, I really have a hard time thinking, I do have one. And that is, at the end of February, beginning of March, I begin to dream of spring. So at that point I talked to my husband, we have to go away somewhere for about 7 days where it's nice and warm.
But when spring comes, it's a glorious thing.
Oh yeah.
What type of activism do you like the best?
I like to actually go to the State House now. I've become into a habit, I would say about twice a week. When my son is in preschool, I go to the State House because in New Hampshire, what I absolutely love is that it's accessible to the New Hampshire resident. I go there and I sit and listen to bills and testimony, and frankly, on some of them that I feel extra passionate about, I testify on. So I put together a little speech that lasts about 3 or 4 minutes that just hits the points, 1, 2, 3, on why I think a bill should go one way or the other, and I testify. And I've become to be familiar quite a bit with some of the legislators there. So even in the hallways, I chat with them, and they know why I'm there.
And they love to see blonde women in the State House, from what I understand. Yeah, so that's great. So it's a guy's game, to a large extent. Politics, women carry more sway over there. It seems like.
There are a lot of men. That's true. It's a lot of men there. So I go for it.
Now, what's a favorite activist memory that you have?
Well, I think I have two. When I was running for school board in Concord, which I lost unfortunately, I was standing at the polling station the day of the day of the vote, and there was a lady that came that lived in my district, and she said, I don't want to vote for a free stater. Why should I vote for you? So I was thinking, oh boy. But luckily this was before she voted. So we had quite a bit of discussion because where we live there was quite a bit of there's a traffic problem because a lot of people are going to the hospital, which is very located in our ward, and she was quite concerned about that. Was her main issue. She says, as a free stater, I don't think you're even up for stop signs or for lights or any kind of directing the traffic. And I had quite a long discussion with her, maybe 10 or 15 minutes outside before she go in. And I was telling her, look, I am up for obviously controlling traffic, but let's go from the least expensive route first. And frankly, on that one intersection that she had a problem with, I was just suggesting let's just put a stop sign on that one road that was, feeding in the traffic so fast. Instead of going straight for the light or straight for a circle, there's actually a roundabout being discussed. And it was a long discussion, and at the end, she said, you know what, I'm going to vote for you. And I was like, you know what? Great. Great. So that's one. And my other favorite activist moment is actually at a Ron Paul rally. There was so much energy. I had such a ball. We were standing on these big concrete blocks, and all of us, I would say a group of maybe 30 or 40 people, were just yelling Ron Paul, and frankly we were out yelling the other candidates, but it was just so much fun. So that was another highlight.
What's a favorite story you have in terms of like a new freedom that you found when you moved here?
I think the new freedom that I would say that I particularly enjoy is going to the State House again. I have to say that when we were in California, we once went to Sacramento and just kind of had a look over there, how it all functions. And I have to say over there was almost, I would say, an aura of, you couldn't penetrate not the building, but the committees, and kind of as a resident really have a say or an impact or just understand what's happening. So I think I particularly enjoy here in Concord the accessibility of government. Here I think it's one representative for every 3,200 residents. So representatives are not that difficult to find. And they're personable. I call my rep all the time, and I get her daughter, and she says, Mom's in the shower, she'll call you back. Now, when I called in California, the response was a voicemail. You reached the office of blah, blah, blah. They'll call you right back, which is different from, having their son, daughter, husband say, my mom will call you back. So it's a different accessibility.
All right, well, Irena Goddard, president of the Free State Project, and recent mover, I guess 3 year ago mover to New Hampshire. Not so recent anymore. Early mover, I should say. Thanks for talking with me.
Thank you.
Are you a liberty activist willing to be on the front line against socialism? FreeKeene.com would like you to consider moving here to Keene.
While Keene may have the largest number of liberty-oriented media outlets
In the entire state of New Hampshire, there's still a need for more activists. Can you help them? Visit FreeKeene.com to see what's happening, including the front page news about Julia Miranda's campaign for city councilor. FreeKeene.com hooks you up with all the liberty media in town. Join the Keene Liberty activists and help free the beautiful city of Keene, New Hampshire from the clutches of the government. FreeKeene.com